gun violence,
Mhm.
grief,
Mhm.
depression. Might even tap into a little suicide too.
Mhm.
So for you, right? Being a By the way, this is Danielle, y'all. Pardon
Hey
me.
y'all, Danielle, aka Dope and Happy.
And tell them what you do.
I am a licensed clinical social worker, so that means that I do therapy. I have my own therapy practice, therapy and coaching, exactly. Dope and Happy Therapy and Coaching. Dope stands for defining our personal experience. So it's all about, Black people being able to come as themselves and, get the help that, we need without feeling like we got to put on or
Mhm.
feel like a job interview.
Right, right. I like that you said that. You know why? Because I feel like ever since I started doing I was doing my Success Story Sunday
Mm-hmm.
lives. Now I'm here in the actual studio. I feel like that kind of helped me with job interviews, if that makes sense. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like I used to be so like thinking about what to say. I get on Google,
Mm-hmm.
like look up that specific job.
That's
I'm gonna look
right.
up the interview questions. Then when I get in there, I don't even remember what the hell I looked up.
Right,
But
right.
now when I just go in there, I really just be myself.
Be yourself.
I used to be scared to do that because I'm like, I'm ghetto as hell. They're gonna be like, but now I don't even be caring. I just go in there, I just talk, and I think this helped a lot, like with that.
Mm-hmm.
So for you being a counselor, from Newark, we got a lot of gun violence, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
crime.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say like is your most common? I don't want to say most common. Like, would you say that gun violence, grief, is like a big thing when you counsel in the city of Newark? Like, do a lot of those people come in, or is it like other conditions and stuff?
I would say, because I work mostly with adults, I do work with some young people. The adults may not necessarily come in
Mhm.
talking about gun violence. It's usually like, they feeling anxious or depressed, but some way or another, like we know somebody, we done been through something. So we all have what they call like complex trauma. So,
Right.
I might be coming in because I'm stressed out about my job, but then eventually in therapy sessions, I start talking about how, my cousin got shot,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't connect that. We think, everything is a separate, situation. It's not. We
Mm-hmm.
us everywhere we go.
Right.
So if I'm experiencing issues at work and I'm also dealing with trying to like go home at night after work and worry about people like shooting and stuff, like
Mm-hmm.
that affects you.
Right.
So it's always, if you're in the urban area, even you in Newark, we talking about Newark,
Mm-hmm.
like some way or another, like I feel like gun violence has like touched most of us.
Right. So, you mentioned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gun violence has touched most of us.
Mm-hmm.
You being a counselor,
Mm-hmm.
has there ever been any times where it's like, damn, I gotta go to work, but I'm affected by gun violence, like something just happened yesterday?
Mm-hmm.
Are
Mm-hmm.
you able to still like push through, go to work, or like are you again, you are human? So it's like, do you
Mm-hmm.
need time as well? Like, how does
Right.
that play out for you?
First of all, thank you for acknowledging that I'm human.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think, people in helping professions, we often get looked at as superheroes, like
Right.
we are immune to stuff happening because we expect it to show up for
Mm-hmm.
everybody else. But no, definitely, I live in Newark. I'm still in Newark. So definitely, the crime and things that happen, they do affect me. I think, well, I'm gonna say I know one thing that helps is just acknowledging that I am affected and not
Right.
feeling like, oh, well, I'm a social worker. My job is to help people. So like I can't, I gotta be, strong or whatever.
Right.
No, like I gotta do the things that I'm also suggesting to my clients to do, which
Right.
is acknowledge your feelings. If you feeling away, if you feeling scared, you know what I'm saying? Like just going outside, if you feeling anxious, I have to acknowledge that. So when I'm in a session, I could come and be a full, container for somebody. If I'm coming in with my stuff and I ain't dealing with it, I can't be all the way there for
Right.
them. So yeah, it does affect me
So
sometimes.
like, they always say things are easier said than done, right? So
Hmm.
you tell your clients do this, do that.
Right.
When it's your turn, how is it hard to do like the things you telling them to do, or you just like, all right, look, I'm gonna write it down, a journal, or you just be like, you go through it like us, and then eventually you be like, all right, let me get myself together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's probably a part of the reason why I'm in this field because I was my first client. You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? Like, and is an everyday thing. Nobody, I feel like, reaches perfection. Perfection don't exist. We are constantly just trying to like do better. Do I have times where I'm like, I'm not practicing self-care? Absolutely. And I always say, oh, I'm the self-care dealer and all this.
Mhm.
And I have times when I ain't sleeping, I'm not taking care of myself. Um, a few months ago, I had to be like, yo, I need to go back to therapy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a believer in that. Like, as a therapist, you need to have a therapist. You need to be able to
Mhm.
unpack. So yeah, sometimes, yeah, I do. Like, again, like you said, I'm a human being.
Right.
So it's just being able to, hold myself accountable and be like, yo, it happens.
Right. And it's like this big stigma, like right behind
Mhm.
like therapy,
Mhm.
counseling. People feel like, yo, I'm crazy if I do that. And by the way, you're crazy if you don't do it.
That part.
Crazy if you don't have a
That part.
therapist. Go get one. She's sitting right next to me if you need one.
Mhm.
But what I was about to say, I done forgot. Oh, so I'm actually glad that you're here and you are Black and you are a counselor
Mhm.
because for me that's a big thing. I've
Mhm.
had therapists that didn't look like me, and
Mhm.
I feel like they used to be amused. Like I told you before, like I'm on the
Mhm.
phone. I'm lying. I'm not on the phone. I was on the phone with her, and I'm telling her about this therapist I had. Like when my brother first died, I'm gonna say it was 2 years after my brother died when I finally decided like, all right, I need
Mhm.
to talk to somebody, right? So I go to this lady and we talking or whatever. I'm telling her about my brother. 2 years after my brother, no, actually that same year, because I went to therapy 2 years later. Two of my cousins got killed together. One was little Dada was 18. Kia was probably they like 10 years apart. So he was like 28 at the
Wow.
time. And so after that, I'm like, all right, let me see her again. Like, cause with my brother, I feel like I waited too long. So with
Mm.
them, I'm like, all right, let me just go ahead. Cause now it's three people. Well, really four if you count my cousin that happened in '06. So it's like, all right, I go there. I'm telling her, right? I'm telling her about my cousins. She already knew about my brother. I'm telling her about my cousins or whatever. This lady looked me dead in my face and said, wow, I never what she said, I never met someone who experienced so much loss. I'm like, okay, thanks, ma'am. Never
Wow.
went back to that lady ever again.
Good for you.
Then I have found another lady, don't look like me either. I'm telling her about, a loss I experienced, but like probably 2 days before I called her.
Mhm.
This lady gonna say, what's his name? I'm like, yo, what? So I tell her, because I'm not thinking nothing of it. I'm thinking
Right.
maybe she might know him or something. So she like, okay, so this lady gets on Google.
Come on now.
She's reading the damn article in my ear. I said this was two days ago. I'm actually on the phone with her, kind of crying a little bit too. So she like, yeah, oh wow, this is horrible. So now she's reading, but I'm like zoned out. Like
Mm.
I'm not even really listening to her. So she's saying something to me. I don't know what the hell she's saying. She keeps saying it, then she says my name. I'm like, oh, like what? I kind of zoned out because I
Mm.
feel like she was just talking about the situation that just happened 2 days ago. Like, so I really think it's very important to have a therapist that look like you, right?
Mhm.
So running it back to the stigma,
Mhm.
how do you think we could like push past that?
First of all, we need more people that look like us and sound like
Mhm.
us talking about it, like what we doing right now. We not caught up in, a bunch of clinical terms and things
Right.
like that. Like, yeah, I could throw that on the table. I got my little degree, my little license or
Mhm.
whatever. But
Not a little big license, big degree.
I appreciate that. Thank you. I received that. Um, but we got to just be able to like come as we are and just have regular conversations about it. Like,
Mhm.
we all have mental health, right? That does not mean, you crazy. Everybody
Right.
got a brain, so you got mental health.
Mhm.
You got a heart, you got heart health, right?
Right.
So it's important that, we talk about because our mind is the CPU of like
Mhm.
who we are. If our mind ain't right, then we ain't right, I'm an 80s baby. I grew up on 90s hip hop.
Mhm.
Mob Deep. When I was in high school, I remember Shook Ones came out. I was like, wow, like I really connected to it.
Mhm.
And now I ain't gonna say how old I am, but well, I just said I'm an 80s baby. um, listening to it with a different ear and as a therapist, I'm like, yo, these dudes was depressed.
Mhm.
They was depressed. They
Yep.
had PTSD. Like that's gun violence, period, right there. We all experience it. It just,
Right.
it's like it ain't cool to say like, oh, I got depression. Okay, but you still got depression even if you don't say it. If you
Mhm.
walking around, you can't function, it's still happening. So being able to like normalize, being able to have them convos. Charlamagne he put a
Right.
book out called Shook Ones.
Mhm.
Dope book. He talking about just hood street stuff, but he's also talking about how, his mental health like was affected. He's merging the two. Like
Mhm.
we are people. We not just black people. We ain't just from the hood. We are people,
Right.
period. So at the end of the day, we need to be able to, acknowledge our human experience.
Mhm. are you able to count the amount of times that gun violence has affected you?
Oh my
Or is it so many that you like,
God.
damn, I don't even like no.
I mean, I'm sure if I really sit down and think about it, I could, but
Mhm.
I don't think that would be like probably the most positive thing.
Mhm.
Um,
It's real.
but it's a real everyday occurrence. I don't care how much money you make, what kind of
Mhm.
degrees you got, what kind of house you live in, kind of car you got. If you from this area, like you've been affected by it, whether it's been you directly and somebody
Mhm.
ran up on you or somebody close to you, you've been affected by, even if you haven't had anybody personally in your life, just being in that energy, like that affects you. Like
Right.
it's called like you vicarious trauma, like going through trauma, like seeing other people going through
Mhm.
stuff, and even like community trauma, like just knowing like, yo, like at any moment somebody could be popping off, or I think we all do like, dang, that's fireworks or gunshots.
Mhm.
That ain't normal.
Yep, it's not at all.
It's not no, but we normalize it. We have to keep
Mhm.
like, oh, all right, y'all, put the record
For
back on.
real.
That ain't normal.
It's not. I'll be in my bed like,
Right.
I don't even live in the hood no more, and I still got that in me. Like, what the fuck?
Right,
What's going
right.
on? But then I'm like, all right, the stadium right there. Maybe it's fireworks. But it
But
take me a little minute to be like, all right, it's fireworks,
you
right?
still don't know though. You like,
Yeah. But I'm in my house and I'm still like, oh,
mhm,
everybody all right out there, like.
mhm,
But yeah. So I don't know. I think this was Freedom Writers. You know, it was a movie, like some school thing. The teachers
mhm,
had them stand on the line, like
mhm,
step up. I think they was like, take a step up if you lost one person. People
mhm.
step up. Take a step up if you lost two people, right?
Right.
And it's so funny because I think about that a lot because I feel like I probably would never stand on that line because I'd be the person that's like,
Each one.
yeah, because I
Right.
feel like I lost a lot, like close people, not just like, sometimes it's people like
Mhm.
I lost my brother to gun violence, my cousin,
I'm
I
sorry.
was, what was this, '06, she was like 15. My cousin Brielle, my brother, my two cousins that I just told you about,
Mhm.
actually Brielle and those two cousins, they all three first cousins. So they grandmother done buried three grandkids. My friend just got killed by her baby father in June. And he killed himself. So that was like a, a murder suicide type of thing. Damn. See, I'm sitting here thinking, and now I can't even really think because there's so many. Like
Right.
my brother. Oh, his mom. It wasn't gun violence, but then again, it was because like she died of a broken heart behind his death. That was her only child. So that just leads me to
Mhm.
believe she a victim of gun violence
She
too.
is. She
Yeah,
is.
and that's her only kid. Like,
Mhm.
and then if you, I don't know, I feel like anybody who know them, you don't even have to know them. You could just kind of see their pictures, or like when it happened, you could see how like she was grieving. You like, damn, like you don't even have to know it. And you know this how her and her son was like. So when I don't know, it's just like a lot of people. So I never stand on that line because I don't know if y'all watched the movie or remember. It was all the black people that was stepping up too. The black and Spanish people was the ones stepping up on the line. The
Mhm.
white people was just standing there looking at them like, damn, like I don't
Mhm.
even. And I feel like that's goes back to that therapist. We
Mhm.
all stand on that line. Black people, with
That's right.
white people, whatever. No matter
That's
your
right.
profession, we get on that line. Black and Spanish people, we to the front. We all
That's
from the
right.
hood.
That's
Like
right.
that's what happens.
That's
The white
right.
people looking at the f- like,
That's right.
what is this? So like, we did a success story Sunday, right?
Mhm.
A while ago. And you said a lot of like, I don't remember word for word, but we talked about a lot of like things we talking about now as far as like
Mhm.
how important it is to have a a therapist. Do you think like, you said you go to therapy.
Mhm.
Did you know that how important that was to have a therapist that looked like you like when you first started, your journey?
You know what? I didn't. When I first started going to therapy, I was in college. I was going to Rutgers Newark actually.
Mhm.
And thank God that they had that as a service, a free service for students. Because before that, it wasn't even a thought. Like, I'm from the era that wasn't a conversation.
Mm.
It just wasn't. Like, as far as like a therapist or a counselor, like the stigma was like, you go see this white person, you lay on their couch, they have a notepad, they write whatever
Mhm.
they writing, you leave, the end. They
What
give you
they
a
be writing
prescription.
though?
I don't know. I don't write nothing. When I'm in session, I just be listening.
That's
Like,
another thing I don't like about the white therapists. They always writing something. Like, what you doing? You about to write a book about my life? I don't like that.
no, yeah, I don't do that. But we do, as a therapist, you do have to do like progress notes and stuff.
Mhm.
But all my clients, they ask me like, "What you write?" I'm like, "You want to see it? This is what I said. Do, do, do,
Mhm.
do." Like, But that was that's what, as far as therapy went, when, you know, I was like a kid in high school and stuff like that. So when I got to college, I was really going through it, you know, being from the hood. Like I went to magnet school, you know, I went to Science High or
I
whatever.
went to arts.
Oh,
I
you
did.
y'all rivals, but you know, we
Y'all
each
not our
other's
rivals. Central, our rivals.
Central, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
Central used to be putting our principal in the bushes back in the day.
See, you know
Before
what?
Roz got there.
See, I didn't know about the principal part. I knew they was rolling up on y'all back in the day, but we would talk about that. I can't. But you know, like, just at that time, like I was just like lost. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm in college. I know I'm supposed to be in college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know what's next though. Like, I just know this is what I'm supposed to be doing because that's what I've been told, and just other like home stuff or whatever. So the therapist I ended up having, she was Asian, and then I didn't even think about it. I was just like, I know I need to talk to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Period. But as I got older, as I got more into the field, which I didn't even seek out to be in this field, I was a computer science major.
Oh wow.
Okay.
That's how we all do though.
Right. So as I started to work more with people, I'm like, yo, like most of the people I'm working with, they look like me. They from where I'm from, like, or adjacent, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just seeing them being able to open up, and just a person saying like, yo, I never talked to nobody about this. Like, I feel comfortable, like not feeling judged. I'm like, yo, it's really, really important. And then I started to, you know, as a therapist, like, you help people, then it also affects you too. And I'm like, yo, like, I think I would feel more comfortable if I talked to somebody. I ain't had to code switch. Like, I could talk just like this. So years later, I ended up having a Black therapist, and it really changed my life. Like, I was able to come as I was, like, not feel judged, say this stuff. And I'm like, I've never said out loud to nobody ever in my life. So, you know, I do think, you know, it's important. Is it 100% necessary? No, everybody needs that, right? Like, my current therapist, she's not Black. I did prefer a Black therapist, but it's hard right now to find.
Drop that zero. I got one for you. Get you a hero.
But what I did though, I was like, me and her need to talk ahead of time before I decide if I'm gonna rock with her. So I spoke to her. I said, look, I need to know, like, that you can hear me out, like, that I could come and be me. Like, I got some stuff to say. Like, I don't want to feel like an experiment. And on top of that, I'm a therapist, so I'm already self-conscious. And she like, no, you good.
But how is that though? Being a therapist, right? Because you sitting down, let's say like you had one of them therapists I had that I just told you about, right? Being a therapist, imagine you got one of those. How would you handle that? Like, what would you say? Like, how would you react to that?
As a therapist?
Yeah, as a therapist. Like, you a therapist going to see a therapist, and that's her reaction to you. Like,
I would, well, one, I would be like, yeah, nah, this ain't gonna work, because you taking my life as entertainment.
Yeah.
Like, you're not really here to help me. Like, you taking an interest in it, like, for your own entertainment. So I would be on some professional to professional, like, yo, this is unethical.
Right.
What you doing? This is unethical. We're not going to work together anymore. But if you're going to work with anybody, and specifically people of color, like, you need to get your, I don't know if I can curse on here, you need to get your ish together. You really do. Like, and if you're not going to get it together, you're not going to take the time to really learn and be a student of another person's culture, then you just need to not see, like, people of color.
Right. So, all right, let's say you were me, right? This happened, my brother died, I was 21. So I'm going to say I started seeing her when I was 23. So I'm young, and I'm still very vulnerable, especially what happened with my cousins too. So in that moment, I didn't really realize, like, that was some bullshit she said to me. It took me, like, later on, start thinking back. I'm like, nah, like, because I didn't even want to see her no more after that. I'm like, nah, but then I'm like, I need to talk to somebody, but I'd rather talk to a damn brick wall of myself than go talk to her, because she's writing a book about my life. If it come out, I'm suing you, lady. I'm suing her, because I know she was sitting there. She's like, wow. Like, and I used to be sitting there like, I think I got PTSD from that, because my therapist now, she's Black. She'll be like, what you writing? She'll just start laughing because I told her about that lady. I'm like, what you writing? She's like, no, I ain't writing that. She don't really write though. So if she is writing, it's probably just notes, because I don't never really see her like. But when I do see her do that, I just stop talking. I'm like, what you doing? Because we be on Zoom still. She like, what? I'm like, you writing a book about my life? She'll just start laughing. She's like, nah, I just wrote down when you said such and such, because she said she liked to send me like little stuff, like
Mhm.
little worksheets, like
Mhm.
articles, videos, stuff like
Oh, you
that.
got a good
Yeah, so
therapist.
when I say certain things, I guess she kind of write it down so she remember
Mhm.
to send me such and such. Or she might be like, send her something on depression, is whatever. So I always it's bad. Got PTSD from that lady. Like I really don't trust I ain't gonna say I don't trust her now. But in the beginning, I would not talk to that lady. Even now,
Right.
sometimes she kind of be like, yo, you don't like it's certain topics that she try to bring up. I'm not talking. Like
Mhm.
when it come to Rob, she bring that up. I change the subject. I
Mhm.
start talking about other stuff, and she'll just be sitting there like, I'm trying to figure out if you're trying to dance around it. Oh, I'm dancing around it. I don't want to talk about that. But we could talk about Sherrod though. That's my brother. Because I feel like it's been 7 years. So I feel like I could talk about that a little more.
Yeah.
Rob had only been 2 years. And when
He's
I first
fresh.
started seeing her, it was 3 months. So I really wasn't trying to talk to her. I'm like, and I'm trying to fill it out too. Trying to see if she like
Mhm.
them. Like, let me see. Let me before I start telling my business. And I'm the type of person like that anyway. Like my friends will tell, like they'll tell you, like, yo, this girl don't tell us nothing. Like everybody be like, yo,
Mhm.
you private, you secretive, you don't tell us nothing. I'll talk to a person so much, it'll make them think that they know stuff. And
Mhm.
then they'll be like, yo, I don't really know you at all. Like, so I feel like I'll be telling the therapist that, like, you gotta just be patient. I don't even talk to
Mhm.
my friends. Like, if something happened that's not like, I don't know, like if something happened, like a relationship type of thing, like something like little, real small, I'll call about that. But if it's something deep or if I'm sad, I ain't calling somebody every time I'm sad, like, yo, I'm sad.
Yeah.
What the hell y'all gonna do? Especially if y'all never even been through. I feel like
Mhm.
nobody has experienced amount of loss that I have. So what you gonna tell me? People might have lost like I don't know, they friend from school that they might know, but nobody ever lost it. I mean, I ain't gonna say nobody did. I do have friends that have, but I feel like I was the first one. So it's like when it happened, it's like who I'm gonna tell? My brother, my sister. They sad like me, so who I'm gonna
Right.
talk to? My
Right.
mother, my father. No, like so that's why I decided I'm like I gotta go find somebody because
Mhm.
I feel like we weren't talking to each other till this day.
That part.
We don't even know how my father felt to this day about
Mm.
my brother death.
Mm.
Till this day, his
Mm.
grandmother did an interview with her, and she asked that all the time. I feel like people ask that all the time. His friends, like the men in my family, you would
Mm.
think he'll be talking to them. He's probably not.
Mm.
And they'll be asking
Mhm.
us, thinking we know, and we don't. My mother don't even know, and that's his wife. They be like, "Yo,
Mm.
how's he doing?" She be like, he don't talk about it. Like if I say my brother name or any of us say his name, he get real awkward. Like it's like
Mhm.
he don't even join in on the conversation. We'll be talking about something funny. He'll have like a little smirk, like, but he won't say nothing. Like
He might not have the
nothing.
words.
Get tip like he does not. Like he don't say a thing.
He might not have the word, and it ain't even just like the words, like just being like a talkative person,
Hmm. That's the thing. He
emo-
is though.
emotional
Hmm.
vocabulary.
Yep.
We're not taught that, right? We taught like, oh, my pressure going up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Like real, like symbolic or whatever. But we not really taught like that. We can say like, yo, I'm hurting,
Hmm.
and I really don't know where. I don't see no end in this. Like, one, we feel like that's too vulnerable because
Yeah.
just growing up in the hood, on top of that being black and just all like just the history of things that have happened to us, like we always on guard. Like you said, your therapist, like, what you writing? Like,
Yeah.
you
Ready
know
to
what I'm
hook
saying?
her. Like
You ready to
yo.
look off on her? Like, and she knows she good, so she probably laughing because she like, yeah, I know how it is. But that's a cultural, you know what I'm saying,
Hmm.
understanding that we're constantly on guard because we have experienced so much like trauma on like just a
Hmm.
major scale individually. So it's like the smoke detector, like you know, you cooking something little and it's going off, and you
Hmm.
know, for any little thing, it's like that's kind of like where we at. Anything we seize up, we
Right.
like, nope, nope. Like I can't let nobody know what's going on because I gotta protect myself at all
Hmm.
times. But while you're protecting yourself, you also stopping the good things from coming in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like your dad, black, that's a whole nother like
Hmm.
conversation. They are not taught to be able to balance being vulnerable and being able to protect.
Hmm.
It's like you got to choose one or the other, but you can
Right.
be both. You can
Hmm.
be both, but who are the examples of that?
Right.
So your dad, it sounds like, you know, some way, shape, or another, like he might need like somebody to just hold space for him and give him that. Like he might just need to be with somebody just being quiet for a while.
You want to take him? Look, I saw him up right now.
We'll pop at. Tell him to call me.
I'll tell him
But no,
too.
I do actually. I have somebody that he could
And that's something
talk
too. I
to.
wonder, has he done it? And we just don't know. Like
That
he
part.
could have,
He
and
could
he
have.
just never tell us.
He
Like
could
because
have.
we literally when it comes to my brother, we don't have like we'll have conversations with each other, just not him. So we could all of us be sitting there talking about Sherrod, and he'll just be sitting there kind of like not smiling like cheesing, but you'll see like the little smirk on his face, but he's not saying nothing. So when he does say stuff, now we all dead silent. We like,
y'all better listen.
yeah, because he'll just be like, yo, I remember when, like, it'll be like something that my brother did or something with sports, because he's he always had all of us in sports, like, and he's actually a football coach on the side. So he was always coaching them and stuff like that. We ran track, basketball, stuff like that. So he was always, into that. So that stuff that come up, because till this day, he still coach on the side. He called himself retiring, and then he ran back to them kids, and he got his little training business on the side too.
Nice.
So it's like that might even keep him going too. It's probably bringing him back to when my brothers was kids. That's probably why he still, do what he do. But when he start talking about Shirai, everybody shut up, because he doesn't talk. So when he talk about him, it's like, it was scary at first, because it's like, yo, he don't say nothing. Like, I never even seen him cry about it, because I wasn't here the day that it happened. None of my siblings, we wasn't around. So the whole family, not the funeral, at the hospital when it happened. And my mother saw how he was. Even my brother's friends even saw it. His grandmother saw it, because she was telling us, they'll see that on her episode. She was talking about it, and I'm like, what? Like, when she told me how he was, I didn't know that, because I wasn't there. So even that shocked me. I'm like, damn. Like, even at the funeral, I know he was crying, but he had on shades. So he wasn't like boo-hooing like us, and he's standing up like, because everybody going over there to hug him. They hugging all of us, but it's like he just felt like, let me just stand up, because. So he's standing up with the shades on. I know he's crying, but it's not like you don't see the tears falling. I just know, like. So technically, I feel like I never even saw him cry for real either. I know he's crying, but it's like. So we always talk about this. Like, me and my sister talk about this all the time. Like, yo, you think he crying his truck? Because he a truck driver. So we be like, yo, that's probably the only time, like, he not with us or around us. He on the road. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's no way that he's not crying. Like, if we feel like this, imagine what he feel like.
That's
like,
right.
Imagine how he feels. So it's just, I don't know. I feel like the way he showed is different. Because the way I'm talking about him, they might say that same thing about me. My therapist say this about me all the time. Like, she be trying to get me to talk about stuff. She want me to cry. I'm not doing that. Like, not about to cry on this camera looking ugly. I don't even know you. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I do know her. I've been seeing her for almost 2 years now, but still, it was like, I wouldn't even let my mother just see me cry on the phone. Like, so why the hell? Come on, lady. She be like, yo, let's, she be like, so, something. I'll just be staring at her like, but then I do got my days where I don't shut up. And to the point that I'll be like, I'm talking too much. She like, no, you don't talk. So I'm happy that you're talking. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, all right.
Sound familiar.
You?
No, it's not what you say about your dad. Like, when he talks, it's like.
Yeah. So, like, when I be talking, she be looking. And I'm like, because I don't talk, it kind of be a little awkward. So I'm like, why she just staring at me? I'm like, why are you looking at me like that? She's like, no, I'm listening. But it's just like, I don't know, just self-conscious or something. I'm like, what's she thinking? Like,
but look at how the suspicion comes, right? It's not like, dang, like, she really want to hear what I gotta say. It's more like, what's she trying to figure out?
Yeah. Yeah.
What's she trying to expose about me? Like, and that's what it is. We're constantly trying to like cover ourselves up, because we feel unsafe. We are in a constant state of like feeling unsafe and feeling exposed. So yeah, we gonna not talk about stuff.
Right.
We gonna do it in other ways though, because see, communication ain't just verbal. Communication is behavior. Communication is lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? Like, one way or another, like, we want to communicate what's going on with us, even if like we are just detached. That's communicating something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I would say, but your dad, like, keep just holding space for him. It might take a while, and like you said, everybody grieves differently. Everybody grieves differently. Doesn't always mean that they are like super struggling, but it's all right to check in and be like, you good? Or maybe not even you good. If you need me, I'm here.
And we probably pieces of shit too, because I don't even think I ever asked him that. And I guess it's because we was all going through it. So you so busy trying to fight your way out of the dark space that I don't even think I ever asked my father, like, yo, you all right? Like, I don't think I ever asked that before. But his mother, on the other hand, my brother's mother, I feel like I was always like, yo, Ma, you good? You good? Going to the house, chilling with her. But at the time of my brother's death, I was living with my father. I was living with my parents. So it was like, I'm in the house with them. So I guess that was kind of enough. Like I'm with him.
Yeah, yeah.
But then with her, it's like she's literally alone. All she got now is us and her mother. And even her mom was saying too, like, we helped her a lot. Like having us, like the fact that my father got other kids aside from my brother, it's like that has helped. Cause sometimes I would have thought that kind of would have been hard. Like, damn, I'm with them and he's not here. Because it was always us four. But she actually said, like, no, that actually helped her. Cause now it's like she's not alone now. Like, her biggest thing was I'm alone. Like her daughter died, her grandson died. It was them three in the house. So it was like, damn, now I'm not alone. Cause we invite her to everything, like every function. It's not like that's our grandmother. We call her grandma. We don't be like Sherrod grandma. We be like grandma, whatever. So like we have anything, somebody's birthday, we have a cookout. Like I just had a launch party, and my business is named after my brother, so she's there front and center. Everything we do, we include her. Everything. Even if she don't come over for Thanksgiving, my mother gonna send her a plate.
That's right.
My father gonna drop it off. Cause that's what he do. He make his rounds. He drop his my grandmother plate, his mom, her, and whoever else, like the little old heads in the family that probably especially with COVID, they ain't want to come out the house and stuff like that. But yeah, I just thought about that. Like I probably never asked bro, like, that you good? Like
you not a piece of shit for that. You
No.
not like you said, y'all all was going through that, and it's not normal to see your parent lose a child. You know what I'm saying? Like, so as a child, I mean, you're not a child, but his child, that's not the natural order of things.
Right.
To have to like console your parent about losing their child. So it is something like, we do have to be like intentional about, but no, you doing the best that you can with what you got. And now just put it out there to dad. Yo, if you want to talk, I'm here.
Because now I'm older. So, like, when I look back, I be like,
Right.
yo. Because when I was 21, I'm not thinking about how's my father feeling.
Hey.
I'm like, damn, my brother dead. I hate everybody. Like, that's how I'm feeling. I'm not thinking, like, damn. Then I'm like, who did this? Like, because for a long time, it was like the person was on the run. Like, so it was like, we don't even know. Like, it's so many stories circulating. We don't know what the hell is going on. So, in that, like, when it first happened, I'm just so mad and everything about it. And then I say, like, when the guy got sentenced, I feel like that's when I don't really know how to explain it. I don't want to say it brought me peace or nothing like that, but I feel like I did feel a little better. Like a lot of people was upset with his sentence. I honestly didn't care because either way it go, you know how it go. You reap what you sow. So regardless, he could get a year, 2 years, 10 years, 1,000 years. He ain't gonna live a good life. Like so. Yeah, that was I done lost my train of thought. Every time I get to talking about trauma and shit, I'll be like, yo, what was just saying? Like,
this is
I
the
forgot.
thing. That's what trauma does. Like, it takes over our mind. Like we pride ourselves on being like mentally strong. I go to work, but it's still in there. It still affects you, right? Like our memory, how we work, how we show up, like it affects everything that we do. That's why, mental health care is so important. Like everybody, can get affected by it. Even, little things like kids, like, we see, they acting up, they wild. Okay, but if you in the hood and you always hearing gunshots or you always hearing about violence and stuff, why would you just be chill?
Right.
Your nervous system is turned up. Like you ready, you on go. You know what I'm saying? Like same thing for adults. So it affects us in ways that's not traditionally, like that textbook, oh, like this person here, out in the street and they just talking to themselves. No. It can be you sleeping too much or you working too much, right? We pride ourselves in, go to work. Oh, I did my overtime. Yeah, you did your overtime, but are you doing overtime because you need it or because you're trying to avoid life?
Yeah, I'm glad you just said that, right? Because I just noticed I just really slowed down on working. I always worked 2 jobs. Not that I had to, because my one job, I made salary. I got the salary job when I was like 23 years old, 24. So it was good. Like I was still living at home at the time. So I'm like, all right, boom. I'm going to work, working not mad jobs. I really worked 2 jobs. Like just probably a couple months ago, I was working 2 full-time jobs. I'm working at Bergen and I was working at European Wax Center full time.
Wow.
And I don't know how the hell like now that I just work one job, because I don't work at either one of the jobs no more, but now that I'm just working one job, I have a day shift schedule. I have every other weekend off. At the other job, I worked there for 5 years. My days off was Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I was teaching at a Japanese school, teaching Japanese kids English. I did that for 3 years. So I did that. That was only part time though. I did that 2 days a week. But on a Tuesday, which was one of my days off. So technically for 3 years, I had one day off, a Wednesday. Unless I called out, which I used to do a lot at Bergen because I hated them. I hate y'all, by the way. Um, so I used to call out all the time, and they used to give us a very generous PTO package. I don't feel like it today. I ain't going. So I did used to get my days, especially there, because I hated them. Still do. But yeah. So like I just noticed, like I was saying recently, I'm like, yo, now that I slowed down and I'm not working how I was working, I'm like, yo, I was really doing that. I was running. I was running, trying to keep myself busy. Because as soon as I get in the house, I'm thinking and shit. I'm like,
That's right. That's right.
thinking about everything. Like, but when I'm at work, I'm busy. I'm with people, and I'm the type of person I don't want nobody to see me cry. Like, that's why I hate funerals. But especially when to be a close person, it's like it's going to happen. But I try so hard not to cry until like, not my brother's funeral. I couldn't help it. I was crying as soon as we pulled up to that damn church. I ain't even get inside yet. Everybody looking at me like I'm the only one. I'm like, oh shit, I'm the one that started it. They like, don't start. I'm like, we ain't even get inside yet. I'm like, all right, get inside. I don't even walk up to the casket. I don't even know what my brother looked like in that casket. I turned right, went straight to his mother, sat my ass down. I ain't even look at him or nothing. So I feel like even that too. Like I feel like looking back now that I am older, I should have looked in that casket. I should have looked at him, but I couldn't. But I feel like I should. So now, like every funeral after my brother, no matter who it is, I'm like, I gotta go up there. Cause that's gonna be, cause I never wanted to be like, yo, I seen my brother in the casket. My brother, they asked me like, yo, what he had? I heard he had that shit on. I'm like, I mean, I'm sure he did. He always did, but I don't know what he had on. Like, yo, I heard he had such and such on his feet. I'm like, couldn't tell you. Like, was the bottom half open? I don't know. Like, I wasn't at that casket till it was closed. You know how they be like, the family come last time, whatever, whatever. And my head was down in. Like, I wasn't really like looking. I feel like I only looked at the cemetery when they was lowering the casket down. And I'm like, that's when I lost my shit for real. Like I was losing it the whole time. I was probably the worst one at the funeral, and for a while I was embarrassed about it. Cause I'm like, yo, I'm the gangster one. How I'm the one crying? Like what the heck? Like how I'm doing that? Like when we walking out the church, I couldn't even. My aunt hold me up. I couldn't stand up. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is this? Like, and it wasn't like I was playing either.
Right.
But I just felt like that's what people would think because they never like experienced or they never experienced it either. So I'm like, yo, they probably think I'm faking. I'm trying to make a scene. That's why I was embarrassed because I'm like, they probably think this some fake shit. Like, because people do it. It was somebody in that damn church screaming louder than us. I don't know that damn girl. And I don't know how well that girl knew my damn brother screaming like that. Because it's, you know, your parents don't know everybody you know. 9 times out of 10, your siblings might not know everybody, but they gonna know more than your parents. I don't know her because I ask people like, who the hell was that? They like, oh, she ain't even really I think she fucked him before or something. I'm like, oh, okay, like makes sense why she was wilding like that. But I'm like, all right, calm down, sis. We don't need to know you, like, because it was to the point nobody was crying. No, not nobody was crying, but it's like somebody was talking, so you know we quiet listening. I don't know where you just hear somebody screaming. We looking, you know, we in the front row. We looking over there. I'm like, I don't even know her, like, but I'm drunk as hell at the funeral, so I'm like, maybe I'm just drunk. I don't know, like, I don't know. Me and my sister drunk, my brother high asleep, like we just looking stupid. So I'm looking over there like, don't know the girl, you know. But even that, like, I couldn't even like get mad about that because my brother was a popular person. Everybody loved my brother. My brother's a clown. All he do is tell jokes. Like he could walk in here right now. You won't just laugh. Cause something gonna come out. He don't even gotta talk sometimes, and I just start laughing. Like, yo, what's wrong with him? Like, something ain't right with the boy. But yeah, like he was a clown, and that's the first thing he do. It's so funny that it's not funny, but it's funny because when I first heard that, you know, he got shot, my first thought was, I'm like, whoever did this, he was probably hiking on him. Like, that's really, I'm like, he was probably hiking, and that's why this happened, because that was really him. Because I know when he knew not to play with me like that. I'm just not that. I don't know, my brothers and them, like, they could do all that hiking and all that. I'm gonna want to fight. And me and him used to fight. Like, of all the, like, he's the only one I ever fought, actually. So it's so crazy that when we got older, like, we was the tightest. Because me and him used to be rocking. Like, I remember one time it was this game called Streets we used to play. You know how they got 2K? It was this game called Streets, but it was like basketball on the outdoor court. So it was this move called Off the Heezy, where they take the ball, throw it in the back of your head, then shoot it. Why he gonna do that to me in real life? I forgot to tell his grandmother this too. when we did the episode, we was talking about different memories, and I didn't even tell her I whooped his ass in her house before. I didn't even tell her that. We in there playing. It wasn't a real basketball hoop. It was like a little kid one. You know, the little toy one. So before we go to Louis going to camp, we went to camp across the street from his mother's house. So in the morning, my father used to drop us off, and we'll walk across the street to the camp. So me and my brothers, we in the house. His grandmother and his mother already had went to work. So we about to, walk across the street. So while we waiting, we playing ball in the house. It was a real ball too, a real ball, but a fake hoop. And we balling or whatever. I don't know what made him do this. Like, I really turned he like, yo, like, look over there. I look, I'm like,
and he bounced it off your head?
Hard as hell. My head was rocking. I couldn't do nothing but start hooking off. And my other brother, usually, like, if my brother and my sister fight, my other brother, like, kind of break it up, jump in it. He was just watching. And I'm like, bro, what like, why am I do something? Because I was mad because I'm like, bro, you the brother, you should have fought him. Like, why should I fight him? You beat him. I'm like, I don't care because he hit me in the stomach. That ended it all. He punched me in my stomach. It was over. I'm like, all right, I don't even want to fight no more. I just sit down like, I don't want to fight.
It's like the finishing move.
So now that was the moment when my brother kind of got up. But I'm like, nigga, you too late. Like, we already done fought. He already punched me in my stomach. You lucky I beat him up because then you was next. But I wouldn't have beat him, though. I would have lost that one.
Oh, my God.
Would have lost that one. But yeah, so we're kind of running out of time. But it is some little topics I do want to touch on real quick because I feel like it's a big misconception behind suicide, depression, right? I feel like, people hear depression, they think sadness, crying all day. In your professional opinion, how would you describe depression?
Depression is an extended period of just not being able to like function at your best self. And at the foundation of it, it is sadness, but it's extreme sadness. And it's not just, oh, this happened today, I'm sad today, the end, I'm good. But it's something that, like I said, you're experiencing for extended amount of time. About like 2 weeks is like usually the standard, like minimum. And it's affecting multiple areas of your life. And it doesn't always look like Eeyore. You know what I'm saying? From Winnie the Pooh, like, oh, that, that person that's like always complaining or whatever. It could be the person that's the life of the party that's depressed. They might not ever let you see that, but on the inside, they are not happy. Nothing brings them joy. They just can't like come out of that. So, it's really important that we check in with each other. Like just making that a regular conversation, just normalizing that. Like, so what's new? What's good? Like one thing I like to ask my clients, I'll say like, what's your number today? Because I'll be like, how you doing? I'm okay. Okay, give me a number. Like what okay mean? Like 1 through 10, like, and they'll be like, oh, I'm a 2. You okay? What's good, so then that gives us like, space to have a more in-depth conversation. We could do that with each other.
Right.
It don't have to be always like, oh, you gotta go, to a therapist to find out. No, like just checking in with each other, just leaving each other the space to be able to be vulnerable and say like, yo, Key, like, I'm here.
Right.
I'm here if you need me. Like, just let me know.
Right.
Just hit me up. Like, we don't gotta go into a bunch of detail. If you need me, I'm here, and vice versa. I would like to come to you.
Right.
Like, just normalizing those conversations and checking in, because too often we find out after the fact that people was depressed. Like the guy Twitch or whatever.
Yeah, I was just about to say this.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's like, oh my God, he's, I can't believe it. And I was just talking to my friend about this last night, and she was like, yeah, he did this, he did that, and I don't understand. I said, you don't know what was going on in that man's mind. I said his job was to entertain people. So who knows? He could have been thinking like that. That was like the only bar that he could be at, which is always being happy, always entertaining people. Who knows the amount of pressure that man,
saddest nigga in the room.
the saddest one in the room. Who knows what kind of trauma he been through? I'm saying this is a black man. Like who knows? Who knows? So if you don't feel like you got space to be able to express that, and you holding on to that, at some point or another, the implosion on the inside is going to turn into an explosion on the outside. So we definitely gotta do better at just like normalizing having those kind of conversations. It don't have to be spill all your guts to me right now, especially if we ain't used to doing that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But little by little, we playing. I was gonna say playing spades. Little, what I'm saying, I don't even know how to play spades, but
Ah,
we had to cook out
we playing
whatever.
Uno.
We playing Uno, right? And just like just checking in with people. It don't have to be super intense,
Right.
but just leaving that space so
Right.
we can have less people feeling like that is no hope, because that's what suicide really
Yep.
is. You don't feel like is no other option. You don't feel like that. And some people feel like, oh my God, like that's a person is mentally weak if they do that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You don't know how much that person has been trying to contain. And believe it or not, this is a book I read, The Unapologetic Guide to Black Mental Health. And the author, she black psychologist, she talks about low-key suicide, where we ain't going to the doctor, we ain't doing what we need to do for ourselves. We ain't saying, oh, I'm a, kill myself, but we're not taking care of ourselves because we just feel hopeless and we feel like,
Right.
who gives a damn about me? Nobody. So what's the purpose?
Yep.
So we just gotta like normalize them conversations and know like it don't always look textbook, because textbook ain't written
Yep.
from our perspective. We gotta know how to look in our community.
Right. And that's I think that's a big thing too. Like I feel like a lot of people, right? You might try like that person that's trying, right? They're trying, they talking to somebody, they go tell this person, that person, their mother, their sister, whoever. And now they're starting to feel like a burden, right? Because now they talking and now it's like you going to these people so much. Now it's like, all right, they kind of giving me, I'm aggravated, right? Now it's like, all right, last resort, I'm going to kill myself. And I feel like that's when people decide to care. And I think that's the craziest thing ever. Like, it takes suicide for you to be like, damn, I should have listened. Damn, I should have been there. Damn, I shouldn't have. Maybe when we was on the phone that day and I kind of rushed you off, maybe I shouldn't have did that. Like, and it's like, it shouldn't take suicide for people to care. That's just how I feel about it. Like, because that's when people really, you really see how people really feel. Like, damn, like I loved you so much, but that person ain't feel that. Because when they was here and they talking to you and they trying to, get you to help, not even help, they just talking, like they trying to get it out. You ain't care. Now they dead, now you care. Now you sorry. Now you, damn, I should. But again, what you just said, giving people that space. Because you can't say you love people and, this is my best friend, this is my sister, this is my this is my cousin. And then when stuff like this happen, you just want the good sides of a person. Like, you don't want the part like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Like, no, you just want, this bitch is fun today. I want her fun every time. When she said, I ain't trying to deal with her. That shit bring me down. But we all human. So everybody do have their moments. Everybody, everything ain't happy all the time. Like, we not always just about to be like, oh my God. Sometimes you're going to have days like, Eeyore. Hi, like, you ain't beat. The other days you lit. Like, so I think that's a big thing too. So, in your opinion, right? Because remember, I mentioned my friend who passed from her baby father had shot her, shot himself. In your opinion, right? Because we said last resort for like, suicide just yourself. What would you say about that? Like, domestic violence type of, suicide, murder.
Like why he would
Yeah,
take
like,
her life
yeah.
and then take his life.
Think it's like a control thing, like
It can, it can be a control thing, but I guess like more generally speaking, like, you know, again, going back to like just trauma, like we don't give that our life experience enough credit. Like I would imagine that at some point this man, like, he received a message that he was not important or valuable. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when we are like that, we are more likely to attach to people in unhealthy ways. And we can put a lot of energy into people and feel like, well, I can't exist if this person is not in my life or pouring into me. And like that's like super duper duper unhealthy. Even as, a therapist, like I tell my clients all the time, like from the beginning, like I want you like to be able to take accountability for your healing. Like I say I'm a GPS and you the driver.
Right.
So you drive wherever you want to drive. I'm gonna help navigate you, but at the end of the day, whatever progress you make, that's yours. Because we need to be able to be responsible for us, soothe ourselves. But, again, a lot of us, we come from backgrounds and situations where we didn't get the love that we deserve. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like, as children, we didn't feel like somebody was there for us or kept us safe. And we end up finding people that we, fall in love with or had like these trauma bonds
Mhm.
with. And it's super duper unhealthy, and we never find us. So now it's like, okay, I feel like this person might leave me. I'm not going to be able to exist. I'm hopeless.
Right.
I don't see no other options. So
Mhm.
guess what? You out and I'm out.
Mm.
It's a sad situation. It goes back to mental health.
I needed that because I just couldn't understand that shit. To be honest, that's why I'm like, all right, let me ask from a counselor perspective because when
Mm,
it's you experiencing it, you don't even want to understand. It's just like, "Ah, he's a
right.
sick bastard. Fuck him." Like that's just your thoughts. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of us even care to know
Right.
or
And you
understand.
don't have to. And you
But
don't have
I
to.
did want to hear, like,
Yeah.
from you what you thought about that. But we're gonna shift gears because we talked about a lot of sad shit today.
Hmm.
New Year's Eve.
Personally, I don't know yet, but the day before the 30th, I'm having a little something.
Hmm.
Like an end of the year, wrap up new year, like who this kind of
Hmm.
situation. We gonna have karaoke.
Oh man.
And vision boards and things like that. I like to bring people together.
Hmm.
And we need to take that time to be able to strategize and really be intentional about prioritizing like us. We say, oh, I'm a, come up with my New Year's resolution. What about
Right.
your real life resolution?
Hmm.
Let's talk about that. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. So that's on the 30th in the evening. Gonna be at my office. So you're welcome to
I'm
come
gonna
if
be
you
in the
want.
Poconos on the 29th to the
Excuse
1st
me.
with them damn kids. Them kids,
Okay.
them
Oh, you
kids.
in auntie mode?
It's gonna be all of us for real. My
Nice,
parents,
nice.
kids, my brother.
That's dope. Family,
Yeah.
bringing the year in with family.
And my brother's birthday is actually January 1st. My
Wow,
older brother. So we kind of bringing in his
wow.
well, that's the day we leaving, but we still
Mhm.
bring the birthday in with him.
Nice.
TB. I don't know. I feel like we haven't done this in a while. Like, as
Mhm.
kids, we always jump him on the first. Like, once the ball drop, we whooping his ass. All three of us, trashing him.
See, y'all like to fight.
No, it's just me. No, it's just me. And my older brother, too, like, as kids, yeah, he was yeah. I feel like me and my older brother, back in the day, we was a lot of as far
Hmm.
as, and I'm always gonna call him. Like,
Hmm.
don't say nothing to me. I'm going to call my brother, but yeah, do you have any New Year's resolution? What you just call it? New life? What'd you say?
Your
Yeah,
real life
resolution. Do you have any
resolution.
of those?
Um, I would definitely say like focus on the things that make you feel good. Like, what are you passionate about? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what would you do if, even if you didn't get paid to do it?
Right.
Like me, I love helping people. That's just who I am. I've been this person my whole life. So I would do it even if I wasn't a social worker. So find what brings you joy,
Mm-hmm.
find what you're passionate about, and figure out how to weave that, into your everyday life. It don't gotta be over the top. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
Instagram make people think like they just coming out the box and it's like, oh, I have
Right.
all these followers. That ain't real life. Just do it
Delusional.
delusional. Like just do it in everyday realistic like increments and take time to yourself, even if it's
Mm-hmm.
60 seconds a day. Take that
You
time
know
to
what's
yourself.
crazy? I usually don't have a New Year's resolution. I always
Hmm.
thought like that was some corny shit. But
Hmm.
again, I'm getting older. I'm almost 30. So
Oh.
this year, I actually do have kind of like a New Year's resolution. I wouldn't really say like, oh, I don't know. I used to feel like, why do everybody be like, oh, New Year, same. I used to be like, New Year, same me. But at this age, why the hell would you want it to be a new year and the same you? You should want to be different. You should want to grow. You should want to change. You shouldn't want to be stuck in your ways at when you 30 versus when you was 20. So I feel like this year, I don't know. I feel like I want to get my time management together
Okay.
because I feel like I be not to say I'm all over the place, but because I am working a 9 to 5, I
Hmm.
am running a business. I'm a podcaster now, so it's like
Congrats.
thank you. It's like a lot. So sometimes I don't even be having time to eat. So I'm really
Mm.
starting I've been meal prepping now.
There you
So
go.
now it's like I'm getting on the road to like get my time management together so I come home. And I'm also in school too.
Hmm.
Doing nursing prereqs right now because I'm about to start nursing school in the summer, hopefully,
Nice.
God willing. if
You
these
will.
last classes don't whoop my ass. These the 5 credit classes. You know, those be the hardest ones. So yeah, so I'm trying to like, I don't know, I'm really trying to do something different. Like I don't know everything that I'm about to do different right now, but I do know that I don't want to go into the new year same me. Like, because that's how I always been. New year same me.
So New Year evolved you.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep, absolutely. But thank you for coming through.
thank you for having me, Key.
Happy to have you because again, Black therapists are important.
Hey,
Saying that with my chest.
Hey.
So yeah, glad to have you here. And maybe hopefully this will have people like, I want a therapist now. Now people
hope
want to think
so.
like they crazy.
I hope so. Like, come, holla at your girl. Like, hit me up. Like, it's me, but I also have a team behind me, and we all like this. Like we professionals, but we get it. We from it. So start your journey. Just even if you don't want to talk, just hop on the Instagram page. I'm always posting stuff for that person that's like, I don't want to say nothing. It's a bunch of stuff for you to, look at. So.
Well, we in here recording at the ass crack of dawn, so you know I really rock with y'all because this my day off. I'm up.
That me too.
But it's cool though.
That's right.
We gave y'all, it's giving what it's supposed to give. We gave y'all, we supposed to give y'all. Hopefully y'all go get some damn therapists.
That's right.
And yeah. See y'all next week.
That's right. Peace.